In a previous section, we briefly discussed a bit about aeronautical charts and how to get the tower and CTAF frequencies of the different airports that we may need to monitor. In addition to that, there's a lot of other information that these charts provide. Let's take a look at some of it. Prohibited areas are where flight is prohibited, like the airspace around the White House and the U.S. Capitol building. Restricted areas are areas where operations are hazardous to non-participating aircraft. Not all flight is prohibited, but it's subject to restrictions. Restricted areas are charted with an R, followed by a number. In this case, you see the R5002 information on this area can be found on the back of the chart. Warning areas exist to warn non-participating pilots of the potential danger. The airspace is designated with a W followed by a number. In here, you see W137 Delta. Military operation areas, or MOAs, exist to separate certain military training activities from IFR traffic. You should exercise extreme caution when flying within an active MOA. In this figure, we see the Phelps MOA. Alert areas exist to inform non-participating pilots of areas that may contain a high volume of pilot training or an unusual type of aerial activity. Always be aware of the airspace that you're flying in. It may save you from trouble. Temporary flight restrictions, or TFRs, are inclusive of small unmanned aircraft operations. For that reason, it's necessary for the remote pilot in command to check for notices to airmen, also known as NOTAMs, before each flight to determine if there are any applicable airspace restrictions. These restrictions usually exist to protect public figures and the president. NOTAMs are unclassified notices or advisories distributed by means of telecommunication that contain information concerning the establishment, conditions, or change in any aeronautical facility, service, procedure, or hazard. The timely knowledge of which is essential to personnel and systems concerned with flight operations. NOTAMs contain aeronautical information that could affect a pilot's decision to make a flight, such as airport, runway, taxiway and ramp closures, obstructions, communications, and airspace. The Notices to Airmen publication, or NTAP, is published by the Air Traffic Publications every 28 days. Also, notice how some parts in the chart are yellow. This does not refer to the airspace, but to the density of the population. Now, there may be details in the charts that have escaped you. If for any reason you don't know what a particular symbol means, look it up in the legend, which is at the beginning of the book of charts that you'll get to use on the test.